Many events in life are worth capturing on video, but simply pressing a button will not be enough to record them. You need to take a little time to understand your equipment, learn how to look after it, and how to get the best out of it. And you need to understand a few basic rules about the techniques required for successful video recording. First of all, read your instruction manual thoroughly. As you progress with your camcorder, it may be worth rereading it from time to time, as the benefit of some of the features will not become clear until you have gained some experience. Apart from the camcorder itself, there are a few other items you need to consider. The first is battery power. Without adequate power, your program making will be at the least restricted and at the worst completely useless. You should make sure you have a spare battery pack, and you should always remove your batteries after using your camcorder, store them at room temperature, and make sure they are fully recharged before using your camcorder again. Many nickel-cadmium batteries suffer from a so-called memory effect, which means that you have the inconvenience of having to fully discharge the battery before being able to recharge it. With the new generation of Duracell nickel metal hydride batteries, you can avoid this inconvenient discharge process because you can simply top up the charge before using your camcorder, which means that you can always have maximum power available. Furthermore, these batteries provide up to 40% longer recording time than nickel-cadmium batteries of the same size and are covered by the Duracell quality guarantee. The second important ingredient is the tape. Compact camcorders come in two formats, 8mm and VHS-C, both of which have higher quality variants, which are called High 8 and Super VHS-C. In all cases, quality recordings require the use of quality tapes. Scotch camcorder cassettes offer a range of products, all of which come with the famous Scotch lifetime guarantee. When opening a new tape, it is very important to check that the tape tension is correct. To do this, you should run the tape in fast forward to the end and rewind it back to the beginning before attempting to record any material. VHS-C and SVHS-C format tapes have a small wheel at the side which tensions the tape in the cassette. This should be adjusted each time you record. You might also consider purchasing a tripod to enhance the quality of your shots, and a camera bag to keep all your equipment in. You should make a test recording with your camcorder and check it back in the viewfinder or on your television screen before attempting to record anything important. Many promising video careers have been cut short because the new camcorder owner failed to record the wedding of a lifetime. Although the new generation of camcorders require much less light than their predecessors, it is important to try to give them as much light as possible when filming indoors. If you don't possess a dedicated video light, turn on all the available lights in the room, and if necessary, adjust the iris setting on the camera. This will be explained in the instruction manual. Try to avoid shooting your subject with a bright light or the sun directly behind them. Some camcorders do have a backlighting facility to compensate for bright background lights. Check your instruction manual for details. If you are mixing daylight with a tungsten light, you may need to manually set the color balance of the camera. This will also be explained in the manual. When you're ready to start recording with your camcorder, try to follow these few basic rules. Keep the horizon straight and the camera steady. Too much movement can make the viewer dizzy. Avoid excessive zooming and panning. Watching television will give an indication of when and how to use these techniques. When using the autofocus function, make sure that the camera knows what to focus on. If it seems confused, change the setting to manual focus and make the decision yourself. This function will also be covered in your instruction manual. Try to avoid too much background noise. It's often possible to delay a shot until a plane or lorry has passed by.
up there. It's just going over.
Your camcorder may automatically balance all of the sound that it hears, so an aeroplane that sounds a long way away to the human ear may well be increased in volume until it blots out all other sounds. This is a feature you should be aware of. It may be possible to adjust the recording level manually on some camcorders. If not, it may be worth monitoring the sound through an earpiece so that you are aware of the sound the camcorder is recording. There are many different types of camcorder and many different reasons for wanting to use them. Whatever your reason for wanting to use a camcorder, taking the trouble to master a few basic skills in planning and shooting your video will enable you to get the best out of your equipment and will enhance the quality of your video program. The basic rules remain the same whatever the subject matter. Excessive zooming and panning is as unwelcome on tourist shots as it is with children at home. It is much better to use the zoom to frame the shots in interesting ways rather than zooming throughout the shot. This way, the shots can be varied without the cameraman having to change position. If the camera position is changed, the focal point and the framing of the shot should also be changed. Camcorders have become smaller and lighter with each new generation. Although this is very convenient in terms of carrying the camera, it does present some problems when trying to keep the camera shot steady. In order to achieve a really steady shot, you should use a tripod. A tripod is most useful when panning. You should always attempt to begin and end a panning shot with a still picture. The direction of the pan will be determined by the subject material and the background. If you are unable to use a tripod or don't wish to do so, you could use a wide-angle lens and get as close as possible to the subject. A sequence of shots containing wide, medium and close-ups is more interesting to watch, but you should remember that it takes longer for the audience to register the information contained in a wide shot than in a close-up, so the wide should be held on the screen for longer. You should use your imagination to create interesting sequences of shots. One way of improving a scene is to use different shapes to frame the subject. The same scene can then be viewed from a different perspective. Close-up shots can be used. Try to use the perspective of the actors in the scene. Contrasting points of view, first looking up and then looking down, can be very effective. The audience will feel much more involved in a scene shot in this way than with a bird's eye view. Close-ups work well because of the small size of the television screen. People's expressions are particularly effective when shown in close-up. Not everything works in close-up. Creating depth in a picture is important. Introducing these bushes into the shot creates 3 levels to the picture: foreground, midground and background, making the image a lot more interesting to the viewer. Some close-ups can be used to create suspense, only revealing the true scene as the camera pulls back to a wider shot. A zoom in this case is effective, but it should still be used sparingly. It is much easier to create an interesting sequence of shots if you are working to some kind of storyboard. This need not be particularly complicated or even well drawn. It is simply a method of organizing your thoughts and providing a framework in which to work. It is particularly useful if you are intending to video some kind of special event, such as a wedding or family holiday. If you intend to edit the program after you have shot it, make sure you shoot more than you need at the beginning and end of each shot. This will allow you more flexibility when you come to make your final program. It is possible to edit the shots in camera as you go along, but obviously this requires a little more care and attention at the planning stage. One of the most important benefits of editing is to shorten time. By cutting between 2 parallel action sequences, it is possible to show events in a fraction of the time they took to record. Alternatively, a series of cutaway shots can be used to achieve the same result. Some VCRs have an audio dub facility, which means that a soundtrack can be added after the pictures have been recorded. Video recording is a fascinating hobby, And if used correctly, your camcorder will provide many hours of family fun for generations to come. Try to remember a few key points to get you started. Look after your camcorder and read the instruction manual thoroughly. Buy high-quality batteries and take care of them. Buy high-quality videotapes and look after them too. Make sure there's enough light to record indoors. Work to improve your technique in designing and recording video sequences. And lastly, plan your program out carefully to avoid disappointment later. Now, go out and have fun. After you've had a chance to use your camcorder for a while, it may well be worth having another look at this video to remind yourself of some of the more advanced techniques. Good luck and good shooting!